Good morning, dear students. Okay, let's continue our class on the lesson tenses, that is past. Okay, we have already seen past simple and past continuous tenses and its usages. Today we will learn past perfect and past perfect continuous tense. First, let us discuss what is past perfect tense and when it is used. The structure of past perfect tense is subject plus had plus verb 3. As we have already seen, all the perfect tenses will have forms, that is common. And also verb 3 forms or past participle form is common to all the perfect tenses, including perfect and perfect continuous tenses. So the form is subject plus had plus V3. There is no changes depending on the subjects here, but only with all the persons we use had plus V3. Past perfect tense is commonly used. This is general usage to express an idea that something occurred before another action in the past. Okay, it can also show that something happened before a specific time in the past. That means two actions. Mostly it will be used with the two actions, and one will be, most often it will be used simple past, and the other one will be perfect tense. See these examples. That is first rule, that is completed action before something in the past. She only understood the movie because she had read the book. Two actions are there. One is understanding the movie, the other one is reading the book. Which is the first action here? That is, she read the book. That is the first action. After that only she understood. So the first action takes perfect form and the second takes simple past. That is, she understood. That is the second action, that is used in simple past tense, whereas she had read the book, that is the first action, it is used in past perfect tense. See the next sentence. I have never seen such a beautiful sunset before I went to Hawaii. Okay, so which is the first action? I went to Hawaii. That is the first action. After that only I had seen such a beautiful sunset. So the first action is used in simple past, whereas the second action is used in past perfect. Here it is used with another usage, that is to show the time that happened before something in the past. We had owned our car for 10 years before it finally died. Okay, so the thing is, first action is owned a car and the second action died. Okay, and here there is another one. They had been married for 5 years when they had their first child. Second action is they had the child and they had been married. That is used in perfect tense. So the first action is taken by the perfect tense and the second is taken by the simple past. The structure of yes or no interrogative sentences is had plus subject plus verb 3. Okay, example is given here. Had I done? Had you done? Had she done? Had we written? Okay, this is a structure. That means actually the statement form will be she had written, she had fixed, they had fixed, in such a way, and that had, which is used as an auxiliary verb in order to frame past perfect, is placed in the front. That means in the beginning of the sentence, and after that the verb 3 is placed just after the subject. That's the structure of questions, yes or no questions. Examples. Had Peter left before Mary arrived to the party? Okay, what is the structure of a statement? Peter had left before Mary arrived to the party. Okay, so had is placed in the beginning in order to frame the yes or no question. Okay, and the other one, had we cooked dinner before mom came? So we had cooked, that had is placed in the beginning and we have made the question. Okay, and had after that subject, then verb 3. That's the structure of interrogative sentences in past perfect tense. This is the structure of negative sentences, that is, I had not done. Okay, so after the auxiliary verb had, we use not or unti, that is a contracted form of not, in order to frame negative sentences. We had not played or we hadn't played. That's the structure of negative sentences. See more examples. I've never seen such a beautiful beach before I went to Kauai. I did not have any money because I had lost my wallet. You see, in one sentence, there are two clauses in each sentence, and in one clause it will be simple past, and the other one it will be past perfect. Keep in your mind that the first action is said in past perfect, and the second action will be told in a simple past. See all this, and I did not have money because I had lost my wallet. What is the first action? I had lost my wallet. Okay, and the second one is I did not have money. So the second action is taken or used in simple past, whereas the first action always takes past perfect tense. Most probably, in most of the cases, there will be two clauses in past perfect. Okay, and that means two events will be there, and the first event will be used in past perfect and second event will be used in simple past. Okay, keep it in your mind. This is the rule, and this is very easy. The last variant or division in the past tense is past perfect continuous tense. Okay, as I have already told, in present perfect continuous tense, and this continuous tense will be continued for a long duration. Comparatively, past continuous. Past continuous will be continued in the past for a certain period of time, whereas past perfect continuous must have continued for a long period of time in the past. Its structure in a statement is subject plus have form, that is past participle form of have form, that is had. Okay, subject plus had plus been plus ing form. For all the continuous tense we use ing form or the present participle. Okay, so this is a structure of a sentence in past perfect continuous tense. Given here are some examples of statement in past perfect continuous tense. He had been playing football for 2 hours. The child had been studying since morning. She had been drafting the plan for a meeting for 2 hours. Children, notice that these events are continuing for a longer period compared to the when we compare to the past continuous. This tense timing is, or the action timing is longer than that of past continuous, but both must have completed in the past. Okay, but if it is continuing still present, we use present perfectly continuous. It continued for a longer period in the past itself. For example, he had been playing football for 2 hours means it already completed, but he had been continuing it for 2 hours. The duration is longer. Okay, and since I told you in the present tenses, present perfect and perfect continuous, we use since and for along with perfect tense here also. This is a structure of negative sentences in past perfect continuous. Subject plus had plus not plus been, verb plus ing, then if there is object, object. Example, he had not been playing tennis for 10 minutes when Ali came. Okay, so he had been playing tennis. He had not been playing. See, this not is being fixed in between the auxiliaries, that is had and been. Okay, see more examples. The mechanic had not been fixing my bike since morning. He had not been reading his favorite book. See, where is the place of this not? Had, in between had and been. She had not been planting for 3 hours. I had not been traveling. Okay, this is a structure of negative sentences in past perfect continuous tense. Look at the structure of interrogative sentence in past perfect continuous tense. The structure of statement is subject plus had plus been plus ing form of the verb. Okay, and in order to make a question, as we were doing with other tenses, just place have form at the beginning or the auxiliary verb in the beginning. So the structure will be like this: had plus subject plus been plus ing form. If it is negative, that will be had plus subject plus not plus been plus verb plus ing. Okay, example, had John and Mary not been loving each other? That is negative. If it is positive, had John and Mary been loving each other? Okay, that is a positive sentence, that is interrogative, positive interrogative. Uses. We use the past perfect continuous to show that something started in the past and continued up until another time in the past. Children, if you remember what is present perfect continuous, it is easy to remember past perfect continuous also, because present perfect continuous, the event will be continued up to the moment of speaking, but it must have started earlier, okay, before a long time. But past perfect continuous also the same thing, but it must have happened in the past. Okay, and adverbs like for 5 minutes, for 2 weeks, etc. will be used to show the duration of the action. Here you can see the mixture of a simple past and past perfect continuous tense, as we had already seen simple past and past continuous. Okay, see example, they had been talking for over an hour before Tony arrived. Okay, so which is the first action? They had been talking. If it continued or if it happened at a particular moment in the past, or something that happened in the past, definitely you must have used the past perfect. But since it continued over an hour or for 3 years or for many years, a day, etc., we use past perfect continuous tense. They had been talking for over an hour before Tony arrived. Okay, she had been working at that company for 3 years when it went out of business. See, she had been working, that means she continued to work for a long period of time in that company, and also this is for 3 years, but it completed in the past. That is the difference between the present and past. And when it went out of business, that's what it is told in the sentence. Look at all these other examples also. Example, Mike wanted to sit down because he had been standing all day at work. James had been teaching at the university for more than a year before he left for Asia. Okay, see which is the first action and which is the second action. And if it is a continuous action, definitely continuous tense will be used. Since it is a longer action, we use perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous, but it must have completed in the past. That's the difference which makes it a unique tense. The second rule is using the past perfect continuous before another action in the past is a good way to show cause and effect. For example, Jason was tired because he had been jogging. Okay, he had been jogging, that was a continuous action that continued in the past, and so he tired. See, simple past and past perfect continuous. This is normally these two will be used together, and for the continuous action and as a result of if something had happened, then definitely you will use simple past. Okay, and he had been jogging, continuous action, was tired, that is a momentary action. Sam gained weight because he had been overeating. He had been overeating, that is definitely a continuous action for a longer period of time. Okay, and gained weight, that's a result of the action overeating. Betty failed the final test because she had not been attending class. Okay, so what is the result of not had been attending the class? Failed. So here this is used to show the cause and effect. Okay, these are the usages of past perfect continuous tense. Children, you have to complete the exercise which is left for last day we have done up to page number 42. Now you have to complete page number 43, 44, 45, 46. Okay, please complete this exercise after listening to the class. Okay, children, bye. Thank you.